The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this brand new show, the latest new show to the Realm Network. It's called Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory to let you know how this show was developed. You know Scott Casey Gale is one of my favorites. He had his own show, the NXT show. Well, you know, Scott Casey Gale's, hoodlums started going into that business for themselves, cutting promos on Vince Russo. So I said, you know what, Scott? They're not coming on the show no more. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a brand new show. Just you're going to be on it, and I'm going to get you a co-host. So that's how we develop Beauty and the Beast. Am I right so far, Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Scott, I see you got this boyish grin on your face because you've already seen who the co-host is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, I'm going to introduce the co-host now to you. Scott, she's a professional lingerie model. Do you know what a lingerie model is, Scott? Tell me.
Woman that models and clothing and stuff.
Yeah, okay, Scott, you don't wear women's lingerie, do you?
No.
Okay, all right, Scott, she's a professional lingerie model. She models, Scott, all over the world. And now she's going to be your co-host. The beautiful and talented Sarah Russi comes back to the show. Sarah, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, Sarah, we missed you on the show. You know my plan was to have you on every week, but there was a little problem in getting guests, and I was determined to find you a spot. So I developed this show with you in mind. What do you think about that?
Well, I missed being on the Realm Network, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm really excited to host this show.
Now listen. Now let's be honest with each other. Now you two have met for the first time now. Okay. Now Scott, what's your first impression of the beautiful Sarah Russi? What's first impression?
I'm excited.
Okay, well, give me more, Scott. I mean, give me. How does she look? How does she look, Scott?
Very, very pretty and beautiful.
Very beautiful. I mean,
Thank you.
Is she Miss Tessmacher material?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You see now, Sarah. I know you don't follow wrestling that much, but Scott has a crush on this wrestler called Miss Tessmacher, and he just put you in her category. What do you think about that, Sarah?
I'm flattered. Thank you. I don't know who that is.
Well, she's a beautiful.
Who is it?
Scott, tell her who Miss Tessmacher is, Scott.
She used to be a teenage wrestler. She wrestled a lot, and she put on a lot of good matches. And so she also started as Eric Bischoff's assistant.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Now let's go back to the beautiful Sarah Russi. Sarah, when you see Mr. Casey Gale, when you look at that picture of greatness with Scott Casey Gale, give me first impressions. You guys are co-hosts now. What's your first impression of this co-host?
Adorable.
Thanks.
Scott, you adorable, Scott.
Thank you.
I mean, look, Sarah, look at the way he dresses with the sports jacket and the shirt. I mean, I think he's looking rather dapper, don't you, Sarah?
Yeah, he dressed really nice.
Well, Scott, what do you think about that?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Scott, relax now. Let me take over. All right, Sarah, listen. You haven't been on in a while, so please fill us in on what you've been doing since the last couple of months that you've been on the show. What have you been up to? I know you're constantly modeling. Every time I go to your Twitter, you're in a different city. You're working every place. Fill me in on what's happening with your career.
Well, I've just been doing different modeling stuff. I do a lot of promotional work. I work at a lot of conventions, and I was just in Vegas recently, just a week ago.
Now, Scott, Scott, everything okay over there?
Yeah.
Because you got this grin on your face, Scott. You happy that Sarah's your co-host?
Yes, very happy.
All right. And Sarah, are we allowed to say, the only reason I'm asking you this is Scott Scott loves like retro television, right? Scott, tell us some of the old television shows you like.
Like I like Dallas, Three's Company, Full House.
Yeah, so you know all those retro shows, right, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, Sarah, the only reason why I'm asking you this is because I know Scott will pop huge if we're allowed to say this. Are you allowed to say who you're currently dating, or does it have to be
Yeah,
kept
I'm
a secret?
allowed to say.
Tell
I'm allowed to say.
Tell Scott who you're dating.
Are you familiar with Different Strokes?
Yeah, I watch that show.
You know the guy who played Willis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend, Todd
That's
Bridges.
that's awesome.
Scott, Todd Bridges is
Todd
Sarah
Bridges.
Russi's boyfriend.
Oh, that's amazing. That's I'm dating I have a celebrity as a co-host.
She's a celebrity, Scott, and she wore Sarah.
Oh my God,
Sarah,
no.
is it fair to say this? Can we just say this? Okay, just let's get this out of the way. Is it fair to say you wore the lingerie to impress Scott? Yeah.
I guess.
Scott,
What?
what do you think?
What'd you say?
She wore the lingerie to impress you.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right, so relax now, Scott. All right, so Sarah, you're still doing modeling, traveling. Hey, Sarah, do you ever do because I think that you do. Do you ever do any acting at all?
Yeah, I do acting.
What have you done in acting wise?
I haven't really like done a lot. I did like this small thing on Brain Games. That was like the first time I ever been on TV, but that was like only for like a few seconds. But I had recently did a show with Todd like a few months ago. Then I didn't have like a speaking role, but I don't know if it's like a TV pilot or like an independent film. I'm not sure. But we did that over the summer, and that's how I met him.
Hey, Sarah, let me ask you this. Like, is your Scott? Are you hanging in there with me, Scott? Scott,
Yes.
I'll let you ask questions in a minute. I got to catch up with Sarah. Is that okay?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Sarah, sometimes when Scott does this show, he does it in his boxer shorts, and I've caught him a couple of times. Scott, are you wearing pants for this show?
Yes, I'm wearing black jeans.
Okay, all right, good. I just want to. All right, Sarah, listen, let me ask you a question. We know you're beautiful. We know you're talented. We know you do a lot of, professional modeling. Would you like to get into more of acting and that type of a thing? Or I mean, some women, make a living as models. There's a lot of money in that. What is it that you want to do?
I want to do modeling, acting, hosting, like all of that stuff.
So entertainment. You want to do a lot of entertainment.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, can I bring up something that bothers me a little? Like, you don't mind if I ask you anything, do you?
I don't mind.
All right, Sarah, I get a little concerned, like, because when I write to you on Twitter and I contact you and everything, you got a lot of beautiful pictures there, but some of the pictures very, very scantily clad, and there's only like a little of you is only covered up. I get concerned about that. Are you? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I always check references before I just shoot with anybody, and usually I bring someone with me.
Yes, and yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, Sarah, have you ever run into any problems like that where maybe you went and did a photo shoot and it was a little shady, or maybe the guy was a little creepy? Have you ever run into that situation?
A while ago once. Yeah.
So how did you handle that? What did you do?
It was just like very awkward, and I just ended the shoot like right there.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself.
Oh God, Sarah. So how did
It was close to home though.
But how did you end it without nothing bad happening? How did you get out of it?
Well, I didn't feel like he was like a threat. He was just really creepy. So
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna do anything, but I just ended it because he was just creepy.
Yeah, but Sarah, you can't go to these events alone. I hope you don't do that a lot alone, because you never know who you're dealing with.
No, I don't do that a lot.
Yeah. Now, Sarah, let me ask you two questions regarding Scott Casey Gale. If Scott Casey Gale knew his way around the camera, would you allow Scott Casey Gale to photograph you?
Well, I mean, it depends. I usually only take like paid gigs.
All right, say Scott, how much money do you have in the bank?
I'm like 1,000 something.
1,000. Sarah, say Scott threw you $1,000. Would you let him photograph you if he knew his way around a camera?
Sure.
Scott,
Oh yeah.
you better write her a check, bro. Write her a check now. Scott, what do you think about it? Scott, if you were doing a photo session with Sarah, the beautiful Sarah Russi, right?
Yeah.
Tell me how you would set it up, Scott. Like, what would the background look like? Would there be props? How would you set up a photo shoot with Sarah?
I would make it look very nice. Very nice. I make sure everything is white and nothing goes wrong. I'll make sure like everything looks very nice and very good, and it'll be very clean and neat and tidy.
And you treat Sarah like a professional.
Yes, I treat it like a professional.
Okay. Hey, Sarah, when you do these photo shoots, I know, I read a lot about these celebrities, like Mariah Carey and, people like this. They have these demands, like if they, in their dressing room, they need all these type of different things. Do you have any demands or anything when somebody's going to photograph you?
No, if I did, I'd probably not get as many gigs or something. I don't know. I don't have any demands.
So you're very, very easy to work with.
Yeah, I'm easy to work with.
Scott, what do you think about that? She's very easy to work with, Scott.
I think that's absolutely amazing.
Now, Scott, do you have any questions for your new co-host? You could ask Sarah anything. She's an open book, Scott.
So, what got you into modeling?
So I wanted to model since I was like 12. I would just like watch like music videos and see like the girls in the music videos, and I just wanted to do that, and so I started when I was 18. I just my mother, she got me a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Like she bought me a photo shoot, and I did like fashion for that. It was more like a portrait shoot, but then after that, like I posted my photos online, and I got more photo shoots after that, and I just started looking for work.
That's awesome. And did you ever watch any TV shows growing up?
Yeah. I watched when I was a kid. I watched a lot of Nickelodeon. I watched Different Strokes when I was a kid.
Now listen, Sarah, did you really watch Different Strokes, or do you have to say that now?
What?
Did you really watch Different Strokes, or do you kind of have to say that now?
No, I really did watch it.
Did you ever in your wildest dreams think you'd be dating Willis?
No, I didn't think that, but I don't know. I never really thought that. I never thought I would meet him.
Sarah, I think it's kind of weird. It's like a lot of women like you, like they get interested in modeling as they get older. I mean, a lot of them, you got to be built a certain way to model. And a lot of women, have that figure, and then they realize there's a lot of money to be made in modeling, so they go down that road. It's kind of weird to me, like at 12 years old, you're watching these music videos and stuff like that, and you want to be like a model. Like, why would you want to be a model and like not a pop star?
Well, I can't sing, and I guess I wanted the attention.
Oh, Scott, you have no problem giving Sarah attention, do you?
Not at all.
You give her all the attention she wants, right, Scott?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Sarah, do you have any questions for Scott Casey Gale, since you two are going to be co-hosting together?
Okay. Well, what are some of your favorite things to talk about?
Like movies.
What would we talk about?
Movies, TV shows, wrestling, food and stuff from my favorite restaurants, and pretty much anything.
Sarah, you want to know what's hysterical about Scott Casey Gale? He goes out to eat a lot. And what he does is when they serve the food, he takes a picture of the food and he puts it up on the Twitter, everything that he's going to eat. Is that not right, Scott?
Yes, that's what I do.
But Scott,
I do that with Snapchat.
What do you mean you have a snapshot?
No, like I do that with Snapchat. I put up my food too.
Oh, Scott, you see that? You got something in common with Sarah, Scott.
Yes.
But Scott, tell Sarah your favorite restaurant that you go to all the time.
Chili's.
Now, Sarah, I would have to think that you go to finer restaurants than Chili's, right?
Yeah, I like a lot of vegan places.
So, Sarah, you don't eat meat.
No, I don't eat meat.
Wow, see, Sarah, that's a problem because, Scott, tell Sarah what your favorite food is.
Ribs.
Ribs. He eats ribs like a pack animal, Scott does.
Yeah.
Sarah, now, how long have you been a vegan?
Well, I still eat like dairy and stuff, but I stopped eating meat about a little more than a year ago.
Now, why did you start doing that, Sarah?
For health reasons and because I just think it's wrong to eat animals. I like animals a lot.
Yeah. So, Scott, there's no way in the world you could stop eating ribs, is there?
No.
What about if Sarah asked you to stop eating ribs? Would you stop?
Okay. Maybe
All right. Okay. Well, all right. All right. Yeah. Because Sarah, tell Scott he's eating animals, that he can't do that. Tell him.
Yeah, you need to stop eating animals.
Okay.
Will you do that, Scott? Will you just stop eating the animals for Sarah?
Okay.
All right. Sarah,
I don't believe him.
Scott, promise Sarah no more ribs.
No more ribs.
All right. See, Sarah, he'll do. Scott, will you do anything for Sarah?
Anything.
Sarah, he'll do anything for you.
Aw.
Isn't he adorable? Tell Scott he's adorable, Sarah.
You're adorable.
Thank you.
Hey, Sarah, can I tell you something that I want you to talk to Scott about? Can I tell you what I think is a problem Scott has? Okay, Sarah, Scott is the nicest person in the world. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always laughing. He's always having a good time. But Sarah, I'm afraid sometimes people try to take advantage of Scott because he's so nice and he gives people their way and he gives people whatever they want, and I worry about that a little bit. But Sarah, you're kind of the same way. You're kind of very nice and very, very giving, but I'm sure you have to draw the line where you don't allow people to take advantage of you, correct?
Yeah.
Tell Scott about not letting people take advantage of him.
I think you would be able to better explain than I could.
Well, but yeah, Scott, do you hear what I'm saying, Scott?
Yes.
That I think you're a very, very nice guy. I think people take advantage of that sometimes, and I don't like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Now, Sarah, here's the big question that I think is going to make or break this interview. Okay? Scott, tell Sarah who your favorite celebrity is.
Will Ferrell.
Sarah, how do you feel about Will Ferrell?
I like him. I think he's funny.
What's your favorite Will Ferrell movie?
Mine or hers?
A Night at the
Scott,
Roxbury.
we know your favorite Will Ferrell. You told us a million times, Scott. Relax. Sarah, what's your favorite Will Ferrell movie?
A Night at the Roxbury.
That was a good one. I like that one a lot.
What's your favorite one, Scott?
Mine is Anchorman and Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction was
I never
great.
saw those.
You never saw those, Sarah?
No, I never saw them.
I want to ask the both of you a question. Sarah, do you listen? You know now a lot of the presidential debates are going on. They're on practically every other night. Sarah, do you follow politics at all, or are you just absolutely positively not interested?
I follow.
And like, is there somebody that you want to be president? Somebody you're supporting? Somebody whose corner you're in?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna be voting for. I don't know.
Sarah, do you have any issues with a female president? Like, do you think like a Hillary Clinton could be a good president?
No, I mean I don't have any problems with a female president.
So you would vote for her, no problem.
Yeah,
What about Donald Trump? How do you feel about Donald Trump?
I think he's like hilarious.
He's a great entertainer, yeah, great personality, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Scott,
yeah.
Scott, where do you sit politically these days, Scott?
I don't know. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I just vote for who I think is going to be good.
Well, who would that be right now, Scott?
I don't because Trump does a lot of stuff that I don't like.
So is there anybody you do like?
Well, like that I guess that Christian guy is okay. Whatever his name is, that Christian guy, not Ted Cruz or whatever his name is.
Ted Cruz. Okay, so you like Ted Cruz. Now, Scott, if Sarah Russi threw her name in the ring and ran for president, would Sarah get your vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah, if Scott was running for president, would you vote for Scott? Because quite honestly, I wouldn't, because he'd be eating ribs all the time. But Sarah, would you vote for Scott?
Sure, why not?
You hear that, Scott?
Yeah.
Very excited. Sarah, do you have any gigs lined up? Like, what's your next jobs? What are you up to next?
Well, I'm doing a convention this week. It's like for cancer research, like they're raising money. So I'm just doing like promotional work for that, and just like regular promotional gigs lined up. I'm gonna be in Vegas a lot more often, so I'm looking for work out in Vegas.
Now, Sarah, when you go to Vegas, do you gamble at all, or that you don't enjoy that?
No, I don't gamble at all.
Hey, Scott, have you ever been to a gambling casino?
I've been to a casino a couple of times, not as much, but here and there I would go. Like I used to go with my
So what, Scott? Say that again.
I used to go with my neighbors all the time.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah.
Scott, you're a little giddy because is it Sarah's lingerie or is it that Sarah's a beautiful woman? What's making you
I'm
giddy?
just excited about having a new co-host.
Yeah, very excited. Sarah, let me ask you that. Sarah, so do you have an agent? Like, cause I see like when I look at your Twitter, I see like you do a lot of hustling. Like I see you get a lot of stuff, but do you have an agent?
No, I don't have an agent. I just look at casting calls.
But Sarah, how come you don't have an agent? I'm just curious. You don't trust them, or you don't want to give them a percentage? Like, I'm just curious.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where I would find one. I mean, a lot of modeling agencies, they look for taller girls.
How tall are you, Sarah?
I'm like 5'2", around that.
Wow, that is pretty short. Scott, how tall are you, Scott?
I think 6.5.
6'5"?
Something like that. It's
Scott, if you're 6'5", you'd be a giant, Scott. You're not 6'5". You don't know what you say. You don't know what you are.
I don't know. I think 5.3 something. It's on my ID.
Maybe it's 5'6". Maybe you got it mixed up. All right, let me get back to the beautiful Sarah. Sarah, let me ask you this. You live in Boston, right? You're born and raised in Boston, right?
Yeah, I'm in Boston.
Now, Sarah, I would think, and I'm sure you've contemplated this, right? Sarah, if you were to move to the East Coast, or if you were to move to the West Coast, New York or LA, your chances of making it huge as a model would probably increase by 100% just being in the right place at the right time. Have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about moving to New York, definitely. That's something I definitely want to do.
So that's on your radar that you want to do that?
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, why New York and not L.A.? Because I would think that there'd be more opportunities in L.A. maybe.
Really? I don't know. I just love New York. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, tell Sarah where you're from.
McHenry, Illinois.
McHenry, Illinois. Now, Sarah, have you ever been to McHenry, Illinois?
No.
Okay. She's never been. Scott, tell her a little bit about McHenry.
It's a small town, but I really like it. There's like Myers. There's a lot of shopping places there. There's a lot of westerns like Chilli's. Another one of my favorites is Applebee's. I like going to Applebee's.
Scott, you can't listen. You can't be talking to Sarah about food all the time. She's a vegetarian.
Okay. So there's There used to be a McHenry Downtown Theater, but that closed down.
What's that? A movie theater?
Yeah, but it closed down.
I want to ask you two guys about this. Sarah, I'm going to start with you because this is something I don't understand. Now, Sarah, you're a model, so that pretty much means that you have to be into fashion, I would think, right, Sarah?
Well, yeah, I don't really do a lot of fashion work, but I do like lingerie stuff.
But do you follow like certain? Do you follow certain fashion designers? Like, are there some people you like over others, or that's not really a big part of your life?
That's not really a big part of my life.
Okay, because the only reason why I'm asking is because Kanye West now is into fashion and he's got these fashion lines and he thinks he's revolutionizing the fashion industry. And I just wanted to see if you had any comments about that. Are you familiar with any of Kanye's fashion world?
I mean, I've like seen photos of his sneakers, but I don't know a lot about his fashion line.
Yeah. Now, Scott, are you on the phone while we have Sarah on the show? I see you on your phone. Scott, Scott, are you talking to somebody more important than Sarah Russi right now?
No, not at all.
All right. Hey, Sarah, let me ask you a question. Is it possible, you think it's possible that we may be able to get Todd Bridges on the show and let you and Scott interview Todd? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. I mean, you would have to ask him.
He follows me. He's following me on Twitter now, and I'm following him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Scott, what would you think
followed
about...
him first.
He followed me. No, he followed me first.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, that's cool. So I followed him right away, and I had every intention of asking him to do the show. Scott, what would you think about interviewing Willis?
I think that's an excellent idea, but I would like to talk to him.
Would you be prepared, Scott?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Listen, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Sarah, how do you think this went today? And what do you think about your new co-host, Scott Casey Gale?
Well, I think he's adorable, and I'm excited to do the show.
You hear that, Scott?
Yes.
How nice is Sarah, Scott?
Very nice. She's insanely beautiful.
And what do you think about doing this first show with the beautiful Sarah? What do you think, Scott?
I thought it was an absolutely amazing time. I had a really good time, and I'm very excited and happy.
Okay. Well, listen, the both of you. I'm very excited for the both of you. Sarah, I'm so happy we could find a spot for you on Realm. I wanted to have you on, for a really long time. Sarah, what was happening like with the interviews? Because listen, I'll be the first to admit, getting interviews for the show is a real pain in the ass, because even me, I constantly have to stay on top of people and DM them and set a time, and it's a lot of work. Is that what you were running into?
Yeah, some people weren't getting back to me, and some people said they wanted to do the show, but they weren't really responding back to my messages. So it was hard to get a hold of people.
Yeah, that's a big pain in the neck. All right, Scott, listen, Scott, tell Sarah, because I'm going to let you give all your plugs now, Scott, but tell Sarah about, you got a whole lot, like me, Scott, you got a whole YouTube network that's just you. Plug everything right now so Sarah knows everything that you do.
Subscribe to my channel, Will Feel #1. Subscribe to the Worldwide Nation Wrestling Shooters, the WWENXT Revolution. Subscribe to the WWENXT Network. Subscribe to Big B717. You can't beat me. No. You can't beat me. No. That's my friend Cody, who I do an impression of. Subscribe to JH Films, who you might see back on the show next week. Subscribe to Global Smith Entertainment, Bring Your Wayne 13. Subscribe to Def Clock Again and Jesse Acevedo.
And who else do we give a shout out to?
My shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to my sister and brother-in-law, and my niece and nephew, and the dog Cooper. Shout out to all my family and relatives.
Okay. All right, Sarah, anyone you'd like to shout out to, tell us your Twitter account, wherever we can follow you. Give it to us.
You guys can just follow me on Twitter just by typing in my name, Sarah Russi. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and you can find me just by typing in my name.
All right, there you have it. Now, Sarah, Scott, will we be back here the same time next week with Beauty and the Beast? Scott,
Yes.
Scott, in Beauty and the Beast, who do you think's the Beauty and who do you think's the Beast, Scott?
Sarah's the beauty and I'm the beast.
Okay, well, at least you can admit that, Scott. Now, Sarah, will you be back here next week? This was like a little bit of an introduction show. Next week, we'll have a full-blown show. Maybe I'll even bring on a guest that the both of you can interview back and forth. How does that sound?
I like that.
Sarah, is that good for you?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Well, listen, Beauty and the Beast, the very first episode, Scott Casey Gale, the beautiful Sarah Russi. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you right here next week.
See you next week.
Visit VinceRussoBrand.com to sign up for exclusive VIP content. You get over 20 new video shows monthly, including Vixens Who Rule and The Swerve, where Vince Russo interviews stars in wrestling and beyond. Listen to Vince and Jeff Lane discuss weekly news and rumor and review Attitude Era Raws. Also, watch the cult hit Bucket Full of Chicken next. Go to VinceRussoBrand.com and click the red subscribe button to join now.